what advice would you give to women to help overcome that fear?
Um, well, firstly, I think it's find an advocate. Now, that advocate might be her own midwife. It might be someone she connects with early in that pregnancy. The other thing I would say is seek that advocate early on because harm is cumulative and anxiety and worry and then becomes fear. That was why I wanted that spectrum to talk about because being anxious is normal to some degree in pregnancy and mothering. There's not one of us that can say that we had throughout our period of childbearing and then mothering, we've not had an anxious day or an anxious night because we have. And that's normal. That's because we need that so that we become more alert, more aware, more receptive. When it's worry, it then becomes ruminative. And what I mean by that is we focus on it more than we don't. So then we become more uh, almost like obsessed about that particular thing. So, for that example, that woman then was obsessed with every time she was sent for an examination or a test that she understood everything about it. And that's okay, but the harm was done. And this is why I think having an advocate early on might just take you off that ultimate um, pathway of being fearful for the whole of pregnancy and then birth. Because we know that constant stress and anxiety produces stress hormones, which, many years ago, researchers found had an impact on the baby developing, that it might not reach its target weight that it could have in pregnancy. So if we can do all we can to reduce that anxiety, then we have every chance of having, the baby that should be and the mother who can be a mother without all the trappings of worry. Because if we don't deal with it in pregnancy, it manifests itself afterwards in many, many ways. And some of those become psychiatric in the nature. And that is terrible. It's terrible that we should be seeing someone all the way through and then in 18 months following the birth of her baby, she's had to have, intensive psychiatric input. And we should be avoiding those situations by supporting women very early on. So advocates can be a doula, they can be a best friend even, but they can be someone that woman has confidence in, but also who knows that woman and knows what is right for her and can speak to her at times where she can't.